Let's make another Easter egg diorama, but this time inspired by SpongeBob's pineapple. And just like last year for the base, I'm going to use some of these plastic crafting eggs from Michaels. So the first thing I'm doing is just drawing out where I want to cut the openings. I'm also cutting off the bottom just so that it will sit level. Then I went in with my X-Acto to cut out all those openings, as well as another one at the top because that's where we're going to stick the leaves in later. And now that the base is done, we can start going in with some paint. I'm starting with blue on the inside to kind of look like SpongeBob's living room walls. I'll also add a few stripes to kind of mimic that bamboo pattern going on. And now we can move on to the outside of the pineapple. I'm going to go in with the highlights, where I've mentioned before that is very stressful to me for some reason. So I spent about an hour going and mapping out where I want to put all the lines with a pencil, and I'm going over it with a Sharpie instead of paint because I know if I try to go in with those fine lines with a paintbrush, I will mess everything up. Now we're going to work on the top of the pineapple, so I'm just going to cut off a piece of this little potted plant I also got from Michaels. I cut off just the top portion of the plant and then also trimmed off some of the barbs on the leaves. Now I'm adding some paint, starting with a bit of a darker green, then a lighter green for some highlights. Back to the pineapple itself, I actually cut apart a second egg to give us these pieces that we're going to use for the trim around the door as well as the windows. Paint those. Then I'm going to use some hole punch pieces of construction paper for the inside of the windows that just so happened to fit in there perfectly. Didn't even plan that out. Then for the base of our pineapple, I took some epoxy sculpt last night and pressed the bottom of the egg into it to give it a little print of where the bottom's going to sit. And we're going to give it a bit of a sandy texture using sand. This is the smallest container I could find. I should probably paint it a similar color for us. Hold up. All right, now we're going to add some Mod Podge here. I'm just going to sprinkle on some sand and hope it sticks. And here's how it looks all dry. I'm going to go ahead and attach it, seal everything up. And here is our pineapple Easter egg diorama all finished. Look how the sand turned out. I love that. And you know, I already got a little SpongeBob guy ready to live inside. Look at him. But I think it's super cute. I love how it turned out. I'm glad I was able to kind of use the paint to give it some shading to help it kind of have that cartoony look still. Those highlights though, they stress me out a bit. I just don't know why I have so much trouble when it comes to blending paint. I don't know. But still, for an Easter egg, I think it turned out pretty cute.